If you're listening, you're a member of the Road Gang because this is Road Gang Radio.
Saddle up. We're wasting sun.
It's Jimmy Mack. It's Lindsay Lawler. It's New Orleans. It's Nashville. A show about making a living. A show about making a life. It's the biggest...
Is that a fat joke?
And the best collection of voices in trucking, transportation, and travel. Not only in this world, but beyond.
We're looking at you, Zebulon 5.
Let's turn this sucker over.
Madison with a T, show 'em what you got.
Good morning, everybody. We are live from the Passport Studios here in the beautiful city of New Orleans. I'm here with your hosts, spiritually, not physically, Ms. Lindsay Lawler and Mr. Jimmy Mack.
Good morning, by the way. I like that you're here with us
that.
spiritually.
I'm pretty spiritual this morning here.
I got to tell
from
you,
the most spiritual place I've ever been to in my life, by the way.
I will tell you, and we are at the Women's Memorial Center. It's a remarkable museum, a remarkable memory receptacle. It is the entrance to Arlington National Cemetery. I was talking to a number of the volunteers this morning, Lindsay, here on Road Gang Radio, coming to you at RadioNemo.com, on iHeartRadio, Odyssey, Live 365, a host of other platforms as well. If you're listening later on, glad you could make it to join us even at that late hour. This particular institution is one of the most perfectly positioned museums in the country because it is... Sometimes two things match up perfectly. The solemnity of this building, while still containing the warmth and courage that's contained inside of it, matches almost perfectly the vast amount of real estate behind us, all of it sitting in the shadow of Robert E. Lee's home, which was seized in 1864 by Brigadier General Meigs as a way of reminding him and his wife of the fact that his son was no longer with them because of the actions of Lee and his fellow Confederates. And since that time, through unknown soldiers and the famous and not so famous, Americans all, loyal citizens all, soldiers all, men and women who gave their lives for the ultimate sacrifice or put their lives on the line in honor of democracy and freedom, who now lay there, heroes among heroes.
You know what? When you call it real estate, when I hear that, when you say the real estate behind us, meaning Arlington Cemetery, I love that phrase. That always lands for me every time because it's going back to being at a spiritual place. By the way, it's a reminder that these souls are still with us. That they have, each one of those headstones has a story to tell. There's the dash that all the Gold Star mothers always talk about. The dash. Between your birth and death date, the dash is all the life lived. And so the fact that these people are occupying real estate behind us, meaning their souls go on, their stories go on, and that is the whole mission behind Reese Across America. Of course, remember, honor, teach, but the remember, telling the stories. And Jim, when I was speaking with Reese Across America Radio this morning, he asked me, he said, "You've been coming here for so many years. Why do you keep coming back?" And I said, that's a good question because most things bore me pretty quickly. And most things I lose interest in quickly. And Reese Across America, every time I come, case in point, last night, the gala, and we got to hear Mr. and Mrs. Byers speak last night. They lost their son, whose name was Joshua. Mary Byers and her husband spoke. They have written a book. Her husband has written a book called Keep Moving Forward, which is the theme of Reese Across America this year. And listening to them speak last night, hearing them speak about their son, I'm like, that's one more story I didn't know last year. That's why I come. That's why I come this year, because it's one more story. And it reminds you, unfortunately, we will have new stories to tell every year. But fortunately, we will have new people to remember and to speak on these stories. So it's beautiful, Jim. The first time I came to Reese Across America about 12 or so years ago, and I remember I finished singing, and then I drove the volunteer bus. But then I got a time to walk around and walk around the grounds. And I remember I was kneeling just like at a random, so to speak, stone that they happened to sit by and just, take some time. And a woman came up behind me and put her hand on my shoulder. And I thought, oh my gosh, am I in the wrong place? And turned around, and she was the widow of the man that I happened to be kneeling up. So the timing of that was crazy and also not. And I said, I'm so sorry. Let me leave and give you space. She said, oh, no. Thank you so much for being here and sitting here, it reminds me that when I'm long gone, people will still come and remember Mark. And I'll never forget that moment. And it's, again, one more reminder that there's umpteenth ways to get involved, to remember, to be a part of this amazing organization.
I'm glad you picked up on my reference to it as real estate as well, too, because real estate is value. Real estate is property with value. I mean, anybody that knows, I don't know if you're aware of this, in order to build one truck parking space in America, it's $110,000 a space. It's right around there, $150,000, $200,000 sometimes, depending upon the real estate. This is valuable property, by the way. I don't know if you ever checked the home prices around Arlington.
Not cheap. Not cheap, guys.
Apartment prices in Washington, D.C. proper, home prices in Georgetown. This is invaluable real estate. This real estate is worth a fortune. It was worth a fortune to the Lees, who owned this plantation. Mm-hmm. I mean, she desperately tried to pay the taxes on it, and he looked at her and was like, nope, we're going to just take half this property. We're just going to take it. We're going to turn it into the most valuable real estate in the United States, because it's the real estate that we reserve for those who either gave their lives in the cause of freedom or served in the cause of freedom and now have deserved the honor of burial here. My hope is that there will come a point when the only people we bury here are the elderly.
Hopefully.
That's what lands for me, that there may be a point in time, I'm not crossing my fingers for tomorrow, but there may be a point in time where we're able to bury people who have served a good, long life.
And it was, interesting this morning when we were sitting here, and they do the staff here runs this very wonderfully. There's people from Arlington Cemetery, from D.C. Police, from Arlington Cemetery Police. You have obviously people from Race Across America, but the woman with Arlington Cemetery said, please remember, because you can't live stream from the cemetery. You can't go interview families. Like, this is, as much as it is a public cemetery, also you have to read the room, so to speak. And I love, it was really interesting to me that she said, if you're going to, take pictures and do video, whatever, please just try. We can't tell you, again, it's public, we can't tell you when and where to go, but please understand that sections, the newer sections, like say section 60, which are more recent passings, more, obviously we know what that means as far as age and time, like, just be respectful of that. Maybe, some of the, go visit the World War II sections and then the Vietnam sections and have real respect for that, because you know what I'm saying.
Somebody who passed in 1919, that may be a place you want to get a couple of shots. Anytime anybody's birthday takes place in the aughts, you might want to back down a little bit, give people a little bit of space. It was a big thing for the first year that I ever did it, was they said, when they saw the equipment, they said, you can walk through here. Please promise us that you will not interview people with that equipment while you're out here. No man on the street interviews. Yep. It's really important to them. Somebody comes over and says something. They're pretty decent too. Somebody comes over and says, "What are you doing? Can I say something?"
Sure.
They're like, okay, but they need to make really sure that they don't want anybody jamming mics in people's faces and being like, "Tell us about it. How do you feel right now?" How do you think I feel?
Right.
Where do you think I'm at? It is interesting because this day, in many ways, resembles something from the 19th century. I don't know if you know this, but that for the longest time, before we actually had public parks in the United States, a lot of communities would do picnics and strolls and all of that through very large above-ground cemeteries. It wasn't an uncommon thing, wasn't even considered creepy. In many ways, today resembles one of those days from a long time ago, because there is a solemnity and there is a sense of purpose. There is the mission moving forward to remember, to honor, to teach, but there's also Boy Scout troops here, and American Legions, and motorcycle guys, and African American sororities from classic black colleges, and
man, they stomp in the streets.
They do.
Yeah, and it's amazing.
They do. And all of those people are here, too. Many came here last year, a couple years ago, met somebody they liked. They'd agree to meet again. You know what I'm saying? This is a day of celebration. It is not so much despondence or grief as it is a celebration of great Americans, celebrating other great Americans and the great and monumentous and sometimes quietly dignified lives they live. And it's one of the honors that we have to do and have been doing so for numerous years. We were talking about it earlier, by the way, in the press room. We have not always been set up like this. We used to be on the roof of the Women's Memorial. We could have requested that, but to be honest, after the year
It's
we've
very
had,
cool, but it's also very cool.
it's very cold, and I have to tell you, I'm taking a real joy in being down here with our friends from Reeves. A big shout out to Jeff Pierce for making all of this possible. Big shout out to Amber as well, and of course our good friend Gorgeous George, Courtney George, who has helped us so much along the way. And most of all, guys, thank you to you, our listeners, who make all the difference in the world. Dean Croak just walked by. Dean is on the scene. Maybe we'll be talking to him in a little bit as well, too. You guys are welcome to call, by the way, if you want to, if we get those phone lines working, at 615-292-6366.
That's 615-292-NEMO. I mentioned Joshua Byers a minute ago, Jim, and I just wanted to say, because we heard, as I mentioned, we heard his parents speak last night. And the book is by Lloyd Byers, with his wife Mary Byers speaking. And the book is actually called Keep Moving Forward, My Son's Last Words. And so they spoke last night, and basically, and as Lloyd, the father, who is a retired pastor, he said that his son is his hero, was and is his hero. And he said what happened is when Josh was a leader and he said, he just lived to serve. And his last words were, when his brothers were there with him, he looked at them when they saw that he was probably about to be at the last breath of his life. He looked at them and said, keep moving forward. And it was hard for his brothers in arms to do that, of course. But he finally looked at them again in the eye and said, keep moving forward. And they did. They were able to inch forward just a little bit more. That actually ended up saving 2 more lives. And so the fact that is why Reese Across America has adopted the keep moving forward mentality as the theme for last night. Hearing the word, we can hear keep moving forward and attribute that or put a stamp on that, however it makes sense in our own lives. But when you hear where it comes from and how it evolved, and you think in that moment, for Lloyd and Mary to hear that their son, that those were the words, and in that moment for his brothers to think, we know this is what we're born and bred and taught to do, that we are supposed to keep moving forward. But there is that human element in the moment where were you there last night, Dean? So it's that moment of, wow, we're trained to know to think we know what to do in the moment, but then you get to the moment, and how do you move forward? Well, they did. They kept moving forward. It saved 2 more lives. And anyway, I just can't
speak highly enough. Yeah.
Can't stress enough how important this book is. And he even said last night, please purchase this book, give it to somebody. So keep moving forward. My Son's Last Words, and that is by Lloyd Byers. I highly suggest you look it up.
We're going to take a moment. After all, we're here. It would be a disgrace if we didn't do the pledge and national anthem. There is no Pastor John this morning. This is a Saturday morning here at Reads Across America. So we'll just take a moment here. Madison, if you would be so kind, Lindsay and I will take our deep breath, as we are oft to do here, and then we will hand it over to you. 1, 2, 3.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets rocked alive, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Continuing our live coverage of Reeves Across America here at the Women's Memorial Center. It's the entrance to Arlington National Cemetery. And by the way, I'm just going to somehow figure out a way to sit down with people at DAT and just say that Dean Croak actually works for RadioNemo, because half the good content we get that's out there that you guys get to enjoy comes from him, and he is now here, having walked almost every square inch of this.
He's probably right now going, I did not work for you. I have yet to see that check come through the mail, Jimmy Mack.
Think of all the in-kind knowledge I give him. This is what has gotten you through the last couple of weeks.
For free. I don't expect a paycheck. I work for free.
Have you lost weight?
A fair bit.
You look really good.
Yeah.
By the way,
you're seeing less of me, literally.
I'm literally seeing less of you.